As always, I'm super excited to get started. I know this is a weird schedule of being on in a Saturday, but yeah, I had a very chaotic week, so I couldn't go on my usual schedule on Thursday. I just am so exhausted on Thursdays that I can't really go live on that day anymore, but um yeah, today is a good day to get into a lot of the things that have been happening in the fashion industry. A lot of things are not relevant anymore because the industry just changes and moves so quickly. But if you don't know how this live stream functions, basically, I mainly work out of a certain focus. So I focus on sustainable fashion, environmentalism, and then pop culture. So streams of collective consciousness is just like a live stream that I've really just structured a lot. Um, my social media handles are crazy right now because I'm trying to like take that XOXO thing out of my name, but I'm like trying to figure out like what's a good username for myself. But besides the point, like I'm really just excited to continue to do these live streams, be consistent and stuff. So yes, this is my new social media handles for Instagram. It's ellierose.jpg. And then I am trying to go back to sustainable more, a bit more, and then trying to figure out like my Twitch username and my TikTok username. But that's besides the point, like I said. We are going to be touching on a lot of different things. But the structure, I usually stream during the evenings. This is a very atypical schedule just because I didn't stream on Thursday. But if you ever want to submit something for me to look at, this is a submission form. It's in my description, so you can definitely send something over. I don't really click on links, but if you just describe it and then tell me where to go, I can look it up myself. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about a lot of different developments. There's a lot of weird collaborations happening. 2000's fashion is coming back. Shein has opened up its new store, which they're calling a boutique in Paris, even though France doesn't want them in Paris, which is audacious of them, to be honest. Billie Eilish has been donating a lot, calling out the power of millionaires. So she's like a Nepo baby herself. So we're going to get into that a bit. And then just like general topics around fashion. But yeah, for personal time, that's when I start off the live stream, just talking about my life. I do want to say it is a bit rough live streaming on a Saturday morning just because, like, who's actually energetic during a Saturday morning? Like, I don't know who's actually, like, really awake during a Saturday morning. But, yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully we learn something today. Again, there's always so much happening in the industry that we have to just like be aware of so we can be better fashion consumers and like just better shoppers in general. But in terms of personal updates for me, I've been working a lot. So if you don't know me, I work 2 minimum wage jobs. Today I'm actually going to be working in the evening at a vintage shop, which is dreadfully boring. But I have some TikToks that I'm planning on filming. So that is going to keep me entertained. And then what else? What else has been happening? Oh, my car recently broke down, so I had to get that fixed last week. So that kind of made me really nervous, because I didn't know how I was gonna like finance a car. I didn't know like what my options were because money is tight. And if you like work at a minimum wage job, then there's not a lot to work with in general. But the good thing that I have planned in terms of finances is doing whatnot shows. I've been talking about this for the past 2 weeks, but I've just been psyching myself out. Like I keep saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do whatnot shows. I'm gonna do whatnot shows," and then I end up canceling the day I'm supposed to like go on the show or like do the show. So I think it's just like a habit to like be super perfectionist, super just like logistical and like want everything to like be super thought out that I just kind of end up psyching myself out and then being like, no, I'm missing this and this and this to like actually have a good show. But I keep watching people do live streams on whatnot, and like they're just like normal girls. They don't have a huge process going on. They don't have like a complicated strategy, and I think that's kind of what's been in my head a lot. Like they're not overcomplicating it while I am. So I think I just need to like let go of like the perfectionism. But one of the things that I have left to do to like have the setup complete in my head is to do a clothing rack system where I basically put a clothing rack behind me with the things I'm going to sell, and then put all the items on hangers and then just like show each piece. And then once it sells, I put a sticker on the hanger or on the clothing marking which item it was so I can track the order with who bought it, basically. Auction style live streams and whatnot are really hard to organize in the moment because people buy something and you have to remember like who bought what. So that sticker system is going to really help me organize stuff. And I was going to do a whatnot show this last Wednesday, but I forgot to buy the stickers even though I went to Walmart the day beforehand. And so I was like, dang, how am I going to do the show today if I don't have my stickers? And then I hadn't even set up the clothing rack because I was so busy and so tired the other days. So it just didn't work out. And so now literally the last thing after the stickers, after the organization, after having figured out how to run an auction show after practicing, is to like actually like set up the clothing rack and like just do it. So I'm going to set up the clothing rack soon and then give it a try. I also need to like go live maybe like the entire day of Friday, or like most of the day on Friday because I do work in the evenings on Fridays, to like save up because I'm like $500 short. I was going to go to the streamer awards, but then I was like, I don't have, I guess, the budget that I thought I had because my car broke down and I had to fix parts and I had to buy things, and the battery was like 4 years old. I had to buy a new motor for it. So now I'm like, well, I don't have the streamer award money that I thought I had or wanted to have. So yeah, now I literally have to come up with the $500. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to go to Streamer Awards. Streamer Awards is basically an annual show hosted by Cutie Cinderella, who is a baking live streamer, you can say. I can pull her up right now. But I really just wanted to have an experience that was unique and that I've never had before. I've never been to LA, to be honest. Let me show my screen. I've never been to LA, to be honest, and I wanted to like be in a space where there's other live streamers. But it's really expensive right now to rent an Airbnb. And then Airbnb right now is connected to Republican politicians. Like the CEO is working in cahoots with Trump. So I don't really feel good staying in Airbnb. I just don't know what other option there would be. But this is Cutie Cinderella. But the thing is, she has been in recent controversies. I mean, Twitch streamers in general are always surrounded and circulated by drama and rumors and just allegations in general. But for Cutie Cinderella, she had been in a round of accusations that she was being racist and I guess insensitive, because she was saying that she's still going to be friends with those that are racist, that are homophobic, that are just weirdos in general. Like she was saying that she was willing to still be friends with them, and that didn't mean that was her beliefs. She was just willing to like still be friends with them. So that kind of sparked a lot of drama, and it made me reflect, like, one, not only did I lose my budget to go to Streamer Awards, but two, like the allegations and just like the contentious nature of her statements kind of made me want to pause and kind of consider like where I stand with going into such events that she hosts. So I don't think she intended any harm. I don't think she was malicious in her statements. I think she was just trying to say that she still wants to help those that are homophobic or racist. Like I think she just genuinely wants to help, given her privilege and her time and her understanding, because she says she isn't racist. She says she isn't homophobic, and gives people the benefit of the doubt and gives a lot of chances so that people can get better. And I mean, I get that. It's just the way that she worded it was a bit off. So I still, in a way, like support her work. It's just, I guess I'm in an intentional time of like reflecting, like where do I stand, like how do I function as a streamer and a content creator, because content creation relies a lot on contentious content, a lot of contentious moments. A lot of the things that streamers have to do to get more views and more attention is clip forming, which is basically creating dramatic moments or really loud moments or whatever moment that just captures your attention. That's what they're trying to do, and then have that promoted on TikTok. And usually those behaviors are not the most ethical. They're not the most supportive of humanitarian causes. They're not focused on social good. It's usually quite the opposite. So Twitch in its nature has turned very distasteful in my eyes, but I still really love the human nature that we can have when we like live stream. And like the live stream itself looks very well put together. There's a lot of amazing funders, amazing creators and workers trying to honor others that are doing important things on the platform, or at least focused on improving their craft around gaming or IRL chats, or IRL streams, or desktop streams. So like there's so many talented people. It's just the nature of Twitch has changed a lot within the recent years that it makes me not know like really where I stand. So my initial hopes as a streamer awards was like a chance for me to like feel inspired, but a lot of the streamers do have their moments of problems and drama. But yeah, I don't really know how to stand in midst of everything that's always going on with them. So yeah, hopefully my claim to get my money back goes through, but hopefully in the future the nature of Twitch can change. There is the Twitch con that a lot of people went to recently, and there were so many security issues, and I actually kind of want to go for next year, but I don't know if it's gonna get better for 2026. I'm not sure if there's going to be better security, better ethos, better values. I think the clickbait nature of everything has just gotten the worst of humanity and has made them want to excuse their immorality and their egotism as like a way to pursue a career and make a lot of money. Because you can make a lot of money, it's just it's so highly competitive. It's just focused on moments that people who wanted to be entertained by or possibly be entertained by, but we're all guessing, like we're all guessing what we're going to be entertained by. We're just trying to figure out like how to capture people's attention, you know, like there's no guarantee that people are going to continue caring, people are going to watch you for 7 hours. Like the idea that people watch live streams assumes a lot of things, like okay, like they like my personality, like they like my focus on content, they like gaming, they like drama. Like there's so many assumptions, but we don't really know why any of us watches each other, except maybe there's a focus, you know, like there's so many different reasons. But at the end of the day, like who knows like who knows who's watching me and why they like me, you know? I don't know. I personally don't know. And I think a lot of live streamers would think the same thing. So I feel like the drama is like maybe one way that they can guarantee attention. I'm not sure, but that's an assumption. But yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of like the thoughts that have been circulating in my head. But other than that, I would say I've been spending a lot of time with my cats and trying to work on content. So more content is going to be coming out on my YouTube, and then I just released a new podcast episode. I think one person enjoyed it. I got a new subscriber, but basically it was talking about how we should bring back grunge glam. And yeah, it was a really fun video to make, and really enjoyed talking. It took me forever to make, to be honest, but yeah, I really enjoyed making that video. It was really fun. So yeah, and also just for everyone to know, if you're watching, I am having a live stream, another live stream come up tomorrow, I believe. Am I live streaming tomorrow? Wait, I think I was gonna do something tomorrow. I think I'm gonna game tomorrow. Oh, that's another update. So I got a second monitor. So I am going to be able to do live streaming a lot better than I used to. So in the past, I've been trying to do gaming and it wasn't working out because I didn't have 2 monitors. But now with the 2 monitors, I'm like, okay, it's gonna work out. Let's see what I have planned for tomorrow, because I do have something scheduled tomorrow. I just can't remember. I'm still waking up. Okay. I'm not as energetic as I am on Thursdays. So I feel like this is a different vibe for everyone. But let me see. Okay, what am I doing tomorrow? Tomorrow is the 9th. I think I had it scheduled where I was gonna play video games, like a video game at 9 p.m. Yeah, like 9, 10 p.m. Central Time, I think I'm gonna play a game, or 8 p.m. And then night, around like 8 or 9, I probably will play. Probably will do like an Infinity Nikki stream, because I've been wanting to play that game as well for a long time. But yeah, that's a bit about what's been going on in my life. Hopefully you enjoy the little update. But now we're going to be talking about news. So with sustainable fashion, there's a lot of news always going on. And I do want to say that there is a lot of contentious moments right now, because fast fashion is just getting a lot more violent. There is no other way of describing that, because how else can you describe the practices of a fast fashion brand if not that they're violent? Like, I don't know what else to call them. I don't know what else to describe them as. Like, the most clear example is Shein opening up its store in Paris, even after France has repeatedly told them not to open a freaking store in France. They don't want them in their country. And then Paris is stuck with them. Shein literally infiltrated through a contract with the brand that is within a prestigious building, a historic building. And now we're like, bro, get the freak out. So one good video that I watched that I want to show is, where is it? It was right over here. Of course, when you're gonna pull it up, it's not there. France Shein store. Okay, let's pull up this and then we'll go from there.
The sky's very
Actually, they're gonna force us to watch some ads. I don't want to watch no ads. Dang.
Tonight, protesters of fast fashion giant Shein rallying inside its first brick-and-mortar store. Demonstrators in Paris outraged over the controversial brand setting up shop in the fashion capital of the world. Some dragged out by police. Shein, which was founded in China in 2012 and is now based in Singapore, is commonly criticized by human rights and sustainability advocates for its labor practices and environmental impact, reportedly adding thousands of new items to its site each day, things like dresses often sold for just $5. The company is now occupying a 10,000 square foot portion of the French department store BHV, which also touts selling luxury brands like Chanel, Dior, and Gucci.
We are fighting for 3 years now against ultra fast fashion business model. It's not only Shein, it's also AliExpress, it's also Temu, and I think we have to discuss what model of society we want in Europe.
The store's opening generating even more backlash after critics pointed out images on Shein's website appearing to show listings for sex dolls that have childlike features. In response, France said it's taking steps to suspend online access to the retailer until the company proves its content complies with French law. Shein telling the BBC in a statement it's permanently banned all seller accounts linked to illegal or non-compliant sex doll products and will tighten controls across its global platform. But the country's finance minister saying, let me be very clear on this. If such conduct is repeated, we will be within our legal right and I will ask for it to stop Shein's access to the French market. Shein did not respond to NBC News' request for comment. The company has previously denied various allegations related to working conditions, saying they are working to create a more sustainable production ecosystem and improve our suppliers' practices. Despite the protests outside the store in Paris, long lines also formed of excited shoppers. And inside,
it's an affordable brand, and that's what people love about Shein.
It's for her.
How much?
35 euros.
What fans of the brand would come to expect, racks of ultra-cheap styles for a fraction of what's often the price.
There was such a dichotomy in like that scene right there where there's literal protesters and government leaders and just concerned people in general being like, no, we don't want Shein. Like, we've been working so hard not to have Shein because it's going to destroy our local fashion ecosystem. Like, a lot of people know Paris as like luxury fashion, as like a fashion hub. You think about Paris Fashion Week, you know, like this is a place that has a lot of mythical ideas of like fashion, and you're like, oh my god, like to be in Paris and be a fashion designer, like that's kind of like what I think of when I think about Paris. And then at the same time you have other people who are like, well, as long as the thing is cheap as long as the thing is cheap, I'll buy it. And there's huge freaking lines. It's just the difference between people is just very surprising. And I do wonder, like, what made the difference for some people to want to line up to shop versus those that are protesting? Like, I want to know from every person, every perspective, like, what justified your actions that day? Because I feel like in those moments it defines who you are and what you stand for. And I honestly would say I would not be friends with the people that entered that Shein store. They're a disgrace in my eyes. They've given up everything for cheap prices. And they don't need this shit. You're looking at a coat, you have a coat on. You're looking at a sweater, but you already have a sweater on. Use what you have. Stop being so greedy and so self-centered in the name of cheap prices. You don't need this shit. No one needs Shein.
Liz Kreutz joins us tonight from LA. Liz, so Shein is now the entire top floor of that department store, BHV. Have they commented on all this backlash?
Yeah, Tom, the president of the company that owns the department store has commented on both the concerns over Shein's labor practices and also the sale of these sex dolls. As far as the fast fashion part of it, he said, from what I can tell you, the clothes that are manufactured here respect workers' rights. He also added that he hopes the brick and mortar store will actually prevent people from just impulsive shopping like can happen online.
Honestly, to have the claim that, oh, our clothing in this retail spot doesn't exploit workers is such BS. How do we know that? We know that Shein literally relies on exploitation and cheap labor. Like, how do we know that these items are being made different? This is just a bunch of BS. It's for us to feel better.
Because people will actually have to try on the clothes in the store and decide if they want them. And as far as that sex doll, he called it despicable. He said that he supports the French government's right to suspend online access. And he says he has directly addressed this with Shein's leadership, telling them that they need to put stricter rules in place for its online marketplace, Tom.
All right, Liz Kreutz for us tonight. Liz, we thank you. We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
Introducing Lululemon Daydrift. A polished look meets a pull-on waistband in your new go-to pant.
Okay. So that was actually covered by NBC News. So I do want to take a look at a debate that was done by France 24 about this very topic, and they like really get into it. So here, let's hear from this person first, and then we'll go from there.
Now, the Asian e-commerce giant Shein is opening today its first bricks and mortar store in the world, and it's to be here in Paris. These are the scenes, in fact, just outside the prestigious BHV department store next to Paris's main city hall. Already anger from some that economically the ultra-fast fashion giant is being allowed to open its first store here. That anger, though, even amplified this week as childlike sex dolls were discovered for sale on its online platform. Shein saying it is cooperating fully with the French authorities, even saying it's prepared to disclose the names of people who bought them to the authorities. Well, let's cross then to the department store. We're going to talk to our reporter, senior reporter James Andre, who joins us from there. James, give us a bit of an idea then, the atmosphere at the store.
Well, actually, it's very interesting because what we have here is quite a bit of tension. We were told earlier on by people who live around here that there were actually police trucks in front of the department store. I mean, which is right behind me. It's the BHV. It really is a landmark here in central Paris. It was opened at the end of the 19th century, and it was one of the first department stores in the world. So it's a very, very important landmark for Parisians. It's a place they love a lot. And indeed, there were trucks in front of it to protect it because people were worried that indeed the police was worried that protesters might break into the store because they're against the arrival of this Chinese e-commerce giant. And indeed, what you can see behind me over there is protesters and people arriving early in order to queue to enter the store when this 6th floor, which has been taken over by Shein, 1,200 square meters, will be open to the public at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Now we know, and at least the shop is expecting a lot of people. There's a big promotion on. They will match whatever you spend on the website in this physical department store today, and indeed, well, that is bringing in a lot of people who are interested in Shein. On the other hand, what we have here is protesters from two groups. One is a group of, for now, because that's likely to gain momentum later on in the day. We've got a group of young, centrist politician party members who are saying that they don't agree with the business practices, and also a group of child protection activists who say that it's unacceptable, of course, that these very realistic sex dolls representing children were on sale on the site.
So, James, why is the opening of Shein there at BHV worrying the sector so much, if you like?
Well, what is worrying to them is that basically over the course of the past just few years, Shein has really gone up the ranks here when it comes to clothes retail here in France. The Financial Times
There's like literally just so much contention around Paris, France being connected to Shein. It's just like, why would you want Shein in your freaking country, you know? And I feel like the United States has to follow what Paris is doing, what France is doing. They're setting such a strong example of literally trying to get fast fashion out, and they have a specific focus on ultra fast fashion. Like specifically, they do not want ultra fast fashion, which is like the worst version of fast fashion. And yet we see Shein being like, no, F you, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I don't care if you like it, and we're gonna do anything in our power to make business in your country, even if you hate me. I don't know if France is gonna get in a legal battle with Shein, if that's a thing, but I mean, the government is ready to take action, so I'm really just interested in using this as a case study in what other countries can do or should be doing, or how to like act in midst of the audacity of these brands who, if you don't want them, they're gonna keep trying to get into your country. So I'm just wondering like how much power we have as just citizens to do something when these brands are not even listening to the government. You know what I mean?
Times estimates that the turnover of Shein is 34 billion worldwide. They have a very aggressive marketing method. They put out 7,200 new items a day on their website. They're extremely active on TikTok and other platforms, and they are gaining traction in the French public. Now, what started out with very young fashionistas who were getting addicted and buying up to 100 pieces a month, this has been widely reported, is now basically extending to the rest of the French society. Their secret is what? Basically, very, very cheap, ultra fast fashion. The quality, of course, is, as you can imagine, up to the price. So a lot of activists are saying that this is very, very bad for the environment, that a lot of the for example, colors that are used to produce these clothes are actually toxic, that the fabric is such low quality, we've been told earlier on this morning by a man, that it cannot even be recycled. And basically what the people opposed to the arrival of Shein is saying that basically it is breaking traditional clothes business, that it is destroying the environment, that it is making a whole generation addict to this ultra-fast shopping, and that basically it is very dangerous. And of course this is all taking place in central Paris, in one of its most mythical and well-known department stores.
Oh my goody. Oh my goody, oh my goody, oh my goody. I want to interview those protesters. I want to know those protesters. I want to understand. I want to understand them. I would want to be friends with them, to be honest. Good for them for standing up and like saying F you to Shein. And for the shoppers in that store shopping away as there's protesters outside the store, wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. What the fuck are you doing in a store when there's protesters outside? What's wrong with you?
In Ukraine, where...
Okay, let's see. There is larger debates as well that I do want to get into. France 24 is so good to watch. They're constantly uploading and they're so informative. I want to be French, so I'm pretending to be French when I watch these. It helps that everything is in English. But yeah, super informative. There's another video that's like 40 minutes long that like goes through the debate of Shein and like whether it's helpful for them to be present in France because supposedly it helps their economy. But there's so many videos. Where is it? It's like a 40-minute video. I didn't save the link. But thank you everyone for coming in and watching. Marissa says go France. Shein is awful. It is. And the thing is, a lot of the people leading the charge in Shein who are against Shein are like on the far right, which is so interesting. These are like far right politicians that want to like make locally made French clothing. So Shein is getting in the way of that because if there's cheap options, like who's going to go for the more expensive locally made thing, you know? So the far right are the heroes of sustainable fashion in France, oddly enough. Who would think? It's not leftists. Oh, I also want to get into this the dolls, the weird dolls that they were releasing, they were selling. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Shein. Okay, let's see. Okay, here it is. Let's watch a bit of this. I'm not gonna watch the entire. Ooh, I'm not gonna watch the entire thing. But the first part of it was really nice. The first part was really nice to listen in. Sorry, the ads are terrible. They play so fast. I can't block them so fast. Okay, we're gonna pretend that's not playing. Capitalism doesn't exist right now. Okay.
Fast fashion, often peddled on the quiet by social media influencers, is just the latest iteration of an issue with globalization's conveniences. Conveniences that supporters say make style affordable to all, but who critics see as an existential threat to homegrown cottage industries and craftsmanship, not to mention the environment. Today in the France 24 debate, does Shein represent a threat to French fashion? With us from Constance, Germany, David Hochfeld, investigative researcher at Swiss watchdog group Public Eye. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Her team makes and sells stylish women's wear sold in her 2 Paris boutiques. Fashion designer Anne Villy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Flavie Houdin is Public Affairs Officer for the advocacy group Impact France. You represent a group of businesses.
Sure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Yannick Pons, Creative and Business Strategy Director at Marketing Researchers and Consultants, REACH, R-E-E-C-H. Thank you for being with us. Reminder, by the way, you can listen, that's right, listen and subscribe to the France 24 debate wherever podcasts are streamed. Yeah, its acronym stands for Bazar de l'Hôtel de Ville, a mainstay in this city since 1856, the department store across from Paris City Hall that triggered protests. These are images from last month when it was announced that 1,200 square meters of floor space would be permanently dedicated to Shein. On the eve of the opening comes this controversy over unseemly sex dolls sold by the e-commerce giant. More from Emerald Maxwell.
Shein may be under investigation over its selling childlike sex dolls, but it's full steam ahead for the Chinese fast fashion brand, which is set to open its first bricks and mortar store in the world on Wednesday in the prestigious BHV department store in Paris.
Shein doit payer, et politiquement.
Shein must pay, politically speaking. BHV must break its partnership with Shein because what right does BHV have to do business with a company involved in child pornography?
Shein said it would cooperate fully with the investigation. It's pulled the dolls from its website and said it was prepared to disclose the names of people who bought them. Even before the latest uproar, Shein and its fast fashion model have been accused of unfair competition, environmental pollution and poor working conditions, making its arrival at BHV controversial.
It makes you feel sick. Just seeing that BHV is proud to show that Shein is opening there is shameful.
This is a perfect example of how fast fashion, especially Shein, has no limits.
On Tuesday, BHV's director pointed to Shein's 25 million French customers, while defending his decision to maintain the company's partnership.
I think we need to remain level-headed. Once again, we have verified the origin of the products. We've made sure that the factories producing the clothes that we'll be selling at BHV do not exploit workers, do not exploit children, or anything of that kind.
More than 20 brands have cut ties with BHV since the Shein concession store was announced. And on Tuesday, Galeries Lafayette ended its franchise agreement with the company that owns the department store, saying they went against its values.
Yeah, that's right. Shein also opening, by the way, in several cities across France in the days to come. The stores, follow us here, are owned by BHV. They use the brand name of that even more famous department store, the Galeries Lafayette, as Emerald was saying. The Galeries Lafayette, which, as she just reported, has announced in the last hours a divorce with BHV, which will now have to rebrand those stores in other cities. No reason formally given, but last month the Galeries Lafayette had most notably blasted the positioning and the practices of Shein, ultra-fast fashion brand, in contradiction with its products and its values. Where to begin? Flavie Houdin, why did the BHV see the need to welcome Shein?
Oh, there are a lot of reasons, to be honest. We studied a lot in the movement Impact France, which is a movement that gathers and represents more than 30,000 companies all over the France. And we struggled a lot regarding the fast fashion law that has been passed in June. And it's still in discussion, but we are working on it. And when we studied how Shein is implementing in France, we saw something interesting, is that it's very complicated to refuse to have Shein because they are spreading all over. They had very different clothes, very many, and it's very hard for them. So yeah, we are very surprised by this decision by the BHV because it's a surprise, and at the same time, it's not a surprise because since many months, Shein is working to to go in the French market, to invade the French consumers. And so at the same time, it's a surprise because we are shocked by this kind of practices. But at the same time, their practices are very particular.
So Yannick Pons, Shein has had pop-up stores elsewhere around the world, but why would Paris be the very first place that it has a permanent presence?
Because they work a lot in France. To be honest, they have a strong strategy amongst French population through social media, through influencer, and you say the word invade. They are invading French social media. They are flooding it.
And so why do they need the BHV, and why would the BHV welcome them? As you saw, it's sparked this divorce with Galeries Lafayette.
BHV is a strong brand that represents French quality, Paris, and they use it to legitimize their position in France.
And Billie, you're part of a federation of designers.
Ready to wear. Yeah.
Tell us about tell us why you think that BHV signed up for this partnership, and the timing of this announcement by Galeries Lafayette saying, well, actually, we don't want you to use our brand name anymore.
Yeah. The BHV is also in a very, very bad situation, commercial situation, so they just need to have more money. And it's the easy way and short way, because of course a lot of brands are leaving now the BHV, and that's the good thing. It's the business model of Shein is just producing massive quantities, enormous waste of clothes, and actually it's very expensive to buy a clothes for €5 for 5 hours, because the quality is so bad. That's actually it's much more expensive than to buy a normal clothes that stay for 5 or 10 or 20 years.
Just one point on this, and why are the big department stores struggling? We have a record number of tourists in Paris.
This one, it's I don't know exactly, but I have a lot of friends of mine that are showing in BHV, and they haven't been paid for 6 months. So it's a very bad commercial situation for this Monsieur Merlin, that is Swede, I can say.
All right. So this debate basically is very contentious. It's like balancing the economic value of Shein versus the moral angle of like, well, they exploit and they're not good for the environment and there's social issues involved with them. A lot of the people in this debate are against Shein. I think it would have been fun to see someone more for Shein. To be honest, that would make a very dramatic debate. Get all the perspectives, but a lot of them do lean against Shein, to be honest, and like the business angle of things is like what most people say is the reason for being in France. But honestly, I think it's much deeper and bigger than that. I think it's a political move to show that Shein is not going to stop, no matter if a country says don't be in our freaking country. I think Shein is pushing buttons. It's testing how much power and influence they can have when they've literally, in a way, been banned from that place. So I want to know how they'll open up those other stores that they're opening up, because this is the first one. I do wonder, like, how the far right in France is going to maneuver, because the far right in the United States is quite ruthless. It is quite ruthless. I'm very scared to be an American right now. Especially as a Mexican American with all their ICE raids. They'd be profiling people. But yeah, I think this is a case study that we should be paying attention to. If you're not paying attention to this, you have to. You must. If you care about the fashion industry, this is what you need to be understanding. I don't have high hopes for fashion designers who want to make a career in the United States. I don't know how you'll be a successful fashion designer in the United States given the power and the influence of fast fashion brands. And France is banning them basically because they want to protect their local fashion industry. They want fashion designers to have a future in their country, to have a job in their country. They want to perpetuate locally made, well-crafted, skill-based labor. Shein is destroying literal fashion designers' dreams. So in the big picture, if Parisian fashion designers can't even have a job in fashion design, what chance do we have as Americans or in other countries that want to do fashion as a career? Like, take a look at New York. The garment district there is quickly disappearing. Gentrification is destroying all the freaking buildings where all the garment workers are working out of, where all the brands have studios, in the name of luxury apartments for the rich. I'm hopeful that Mamdani can save the garment district, can help turn the tables against luxury apartment interests. Like, we don't need more luxury apartments. Like, I think it would benefit us in the long run to keep our garment district alive. Because when you think about garment districts, you think about New York, you think about major cities. If we don't have a garment district in New York, what do we have left? We have nothing. There's a garment district in LA, but they mostly make fast fashion. So it's not looking that good for the fashion industry overall, but I'm optimistic that we can have case studies. And France is doing a fabulous job, even if they are on the far right. I'm not on the far right. I will never be on the far right, but I do think it's an example of what a government can and should be capable of to push away brands that do not serve the interests of their country. So that's a bit of my opinion, but I do want to get into the sex dolls that Shein is selling, because that's disturbing. Why would you sell that on the store? Isn't your demographic like Gen Z people? I don't get why you would want to sell that. Like, why would you want to sell that? Ew. Is it for men? That's so nasty.
France started proceedings on Wednesday to suspend online fast fashion retailer Shein after childlike sex dolls and weapons were found being sold on its site. The government says the suspension will last until the e-commerce titan proves its platform complies with French law. Shein said it sanctioned the sellers of the sex dolls and implemented a worldwide ban on the sale of such products on its site. The company also decided to temporarily suspend its marketplace in France to review and strengthen how the third-party sellers operate. Lawmakers also pointed out listings on Shein's site for weapons, including brass knuckles, which are banned in France, and an axe. The controversy comes as Shein's new shop in the 19th century.
Guys, I literally played a minute of you guys just staring at me. I'm sorry. Oops.
France started proceedings on Wednesday to suspend online fast fashion retailer Shein after childlike sex dolls and weapons were found being sold on its site. The government says the suspension will last until the e-commerce titan proves its platform complies with French law. Shein said it sanctioned the sellers of the sex dolls and implemented a worldwide ban on the sale of such products on its site. The company also decided to temporarily suspend its marketplace in France to review and strengthen how the third-party sellers operate. Lawmakers also pointed out listings on Shein's site for weapons, including brass knuckles, which are banned in France, and an axe. The controversy comes as Shein's new shop in the 19th century BHV department store causes uproar that goes beyond the latest concerns. Politicians and retailers say the online giant has an unfair advantage and has eroded French high streets. Though on Wednesday, many French shoppers said it was a bad.
What shall we ever do with these freaking brands? Oh, it's so problematic overall. It's like one thing after another. Like, I turn around and they're doing the most random thing, and they're always going to be blaming the third-party suppliers. It's not us, it's them. Yeah, right. It's definitely you. It's definitely you. But I do want to move on and talk about other things that are happening in the industry. I think one of the main things has been Shein that's been circulating in the sustainable fashion world. But I do want to talk about the Miss Universe situation. So if you're not aware, Miss Mexico Universe was basically shamed by Thailand's like coordinator of blah 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 events. I don't know, some macho random man was basically outing her, saying that she wasn't following certain protocols, wasn't taking the photos that she was supposed to, that she was stupid basically. And then everyone started walking out, and it's just so weird to see macho men tell a literal representative of a country that you're dumb just because she wasn't following every single protocol perfectly. But it was just a complication between companies and interests of companies. Like there's just a lot going on. So she had her reasons for not following certain protocols, but for this man to like call her out and call her dumb is just, it's a whole different level of unnecessary. And it just shows just the patriarchal nature of some events and the misogyny of people's character. So yeah, it's been blowing up, and then she's been being ignored. Blah, 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 I cannot talk. She's been ignored in certain interviews. They're like basically pushing her out of the competition. So it's sad to say, because Miss Mexico is like a beautiful woman. She's like a nice person. I really like her from the information that I've collected. She's never previously been in pageants. She's a normal girl, and she's been such a lovely character. So let's look at this video.
It's just something about men crying due to the consequences of their own actions that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. This is Nawat. He is a Thai businessman and national director of Miss Universe Thailand. He effed around and found out after he disrespected one of the contestants during the sashing ceremony that was live streamed on Facebook and also took place in Thailand. This is the precursor before the Miss Universe beauty pageant that takes place later on this month in Bangkok. The contestant that Nawat tried to bully was Miss Mexico. Her name is Fatima Bosch. What happened is that she did not participate in a promotional photo shoot for the pageant that was supposed to get shared by the contestants on social media. Ceremony and asked her why. Fatima said that basically she was following orders from her team. She had to check in with them first. Nawat got very irritated and in a roundabout way called Fatima dumb for listening to her national director, and when she tried to stand up and advocate for herself, he got even madder and called security on her.
If you follow the order from your national director, you are dumb man. No, not about you. Not about you. Not about you. It's not about me. It's about all the people that I represent. I didn't give you opportunity to talk. Please keep polite for me. I'm still talking.
After Miss Mexico left the room, many of the contestants stood up in solidarity with her, including the reigning Miss Universe, Miss Denmark, and walked out too.
He called me dumb because he had problems with the organization, and I think that's not fair.
It's not.
Because I'm here and I do everything okay. Yep. I don't mess with anyone. I just try to be kind. I'm trying to give my best. And he just shot me, and he just said to me, and shut up, and a lot of different things.
Yep.
And I think that the world needs to see this, because we are empowered women.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a platform for our voice.
Yes. Since this incident blew up and went viral, not only has the Miss Universe organization issued a statement, but Nawat has apologized quite a few times in tears. However, that was to no avail, because according to the president of the pageant, he has all but been dismissed from his duties. He took the frustrations that he had on Fatima's team out on her, and that was not right, that was not professional, and it was just mean. Which is why his power trip ended up biting him in the ass, and now he can sit at home and watch the Miss Universe pageant like everybody else. Let me know what y'all think about this story down below. It's just something about men crying due to the consequences of their own actions that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
The audacity of men. He didn't even call her a woman. He said dumb man. good for Miss Mexico for stepping out and leaving that room, and for everyone else to follow her out. But there was some people that stayed within the room. They weren't willing to step out. And everyone has their own decision and their own reactions in the moment. I don't think anyone expected him to say any of these things. I don't think anyone was ready to know how to respond to any of these situations. I feel like Miss Universe contestants have been trained to be very proper, to be very, you know, just lovely and put together. So when these moments come up, it's like, well, what am I willing to lose? Like, what am I going to say? How am I going to be perceived? I have an entire country that I'm representing on my back. But I think how certain people reacted within the moment is very telling of their moral character. So for Miss Mexico to like walk out and be like, this isn't fair, like I'm kind, I do think that this isn't right, because this isn't something that he should have done, given that there was just mess with the organizations. It's just, he shouldn't be treating me like this just because other stuff is happening. Iran, Miss Universe Iran was super supportive of Miss Mexico. So a lot of TikTokers have been saying that she's been adopted into Mexico because of her support that she's shown Miss Mexico. And then he publicly apologized, but he was like crying and talking to a crowd. He wasn't even facing Miss Mexico. So it seems like it's all a show for him at this point. It's to save his brand, save his career and himself at this point. He doesn't care about Miss Mexico. And then there's another clip where they were like interviewing contestants for certain things in Thailand, and they completely ignored Miss Mexico. And I feel like this sounds a bit off to say, but I think this is a good thing for Miss Mexico, because she's garnered so much attention. She's garnered so much love from so many different people. So I'm sure that she's going to continue having a light in her life, and people are going to follow her for a long time after this. Like, I think she's just iconic after this, because she's shown her character, she's shown who she is, and she just seems very grounded and also just a very beautiful soul. So I do think that this attention has sparked her career, basically her landmark in the media world. So interviewed and ignored in Thailand. I'm sure she's going to be really the new star in Mexico. I think she's going to be the new star in Mexico. Let's see. There was another clip where she was ignored in an interview. I don't know if I can find it. No, I don't think I can see it. No, I don't think I can find it. It was like a clip on TikTok. But let's look at the apology.
What if you were prepared for all those interview curveballs?
I hate when I see something and then I don't save it, and I'm like, where did I see this? In the 500 hours I was on the internet. Blah 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 blah. Oh, no sympathy for this man. I'm sorry. I don't have no sympathy.
First, I have to.
And the thing is, he apologized like twice, and he never faced her. This man is a piece of work, I swear to God.
Apologize for the delegate if anyone ever.
Why is he facing the crowd? This doesn't help anyone. You're talking to the crowd, you're not talking to the contestants, and if you're apologizing, she should have been standing next to you. Do you know where Vietnam is standing? That's where she should have been standing. She's all the way in a freaking corner, and she's looking away from you, and you're looking at the crowd. That's not an apology. This is a PR move.
And not comfortable, it happened. I'm so sorry.
Why did they place Miss Mexico so far away from him? She wasn't even in the frame. She was not in the frame. Ah, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Someone in the comments was saying he needs to be removed. Arrogant and bully is his character. And I agree. Like, just the way that he's maneuvered and apologizing, the maneuver he went about calling grievances and then pinpointing it on one person, one woman, and then acting like she couldn't even speak or didn't have permission to walk out or even like have a decision in what was happening in that moment just says a lot about his character. I don't have anything against Thailand. I think it's a beautiful country. I love different places. I love exploring. I love different cultures. It's just like the moral character of people is just I don't know what was wrong with that man, but needs to be raised again by some good values because he is lacking them. He needs a restart, a reboot. He needs a Buddhist retreat to think about his actions. Not the first time, apparently. Oh, I wonder if this has happened before. And if this is how he acts in public, I wonder how he acts in private. Someone said he was just saying, I didn't say anything bad. I just called her a dumbhead. My mother calls me that all the time. All the time. The man has some trauma. Oh my gosh. Hopefully he gets some help because he's clearly in the wrong. These poor women are literally filled with responsibility. Like, do you know how much pressure it is to represent an entire freaking country and then some man is calling you dumb because of some organizational issue where you're not taking some photos? Like, that's the least of their worries. Like, let them be. If you have an issue, talk to them in private or talk to their managers or something. You don't have to be cruel. They're already going through so much. And they're in a country that they don't know. They don't speak the language. Like, have some freaking empathy. But, yeah, that's where we're gonna move on just for sake of time. But my heart is with Miss Mexico, especially as a Mexican American. I hope she's doing well. She seemed very scattered when I was watching her be interviewed and different things, but I can only imagine like the hardships and the tension that has been on her shoulders. I don't know how I deal with all that attention, to be honest. But we're gonna shift a bit to other fast fashion news. So there was this interesting video that I saw on TikTok where Urban Outfitters has released 2000's fashion, which I think is coming back. Like, we were obsessed with the 90s, I feel like, but now I think that the late 2000s is coming back. Those hoodies are so freaking ugly. Why would you even buy that? This is literally giving middle school vibes for me. It makes me want to throw up. Oof. I remember when everyone dressed like this when I was like 12, 13 years old. I don't want to dress like my 12-year-old self. Like, it was puberty. We don't need that. We don't need it. This looks so plasticky. It's literally polyester. God, I hate this so much. I hate 2010's pop culture fashion. This is the ugliest fashion in my eyes. I hate it. And I knew it was coming. And I literally was dreading it. And it's now here. It's now here. And I can't stop it. Marissa says, lol, the good thing is that the thrift stores are full of this. Yeah, that's literally everything that's in the thrift stores. I feel like this was the beginning of fast fashion. Didn't fast fashion practices emerge around the 2000s? Like, it started to just become a bit more refined. Because I don't remember seeing like 90s fast fashion. It was a better quality time, you know. They were actually making stuff in a good way in the 90s, if I remember, because I buy t-shirts from the 90s and they're still good. But then when I have like 2000 stuff, like the OG 2000 stuff, like, they're falling apart and it's cheap and I wash it and it falls apart. So this is just traumatic overall. It's just overall just bad. We don't need it. We don't need it. I remember walking in the malls as a kid and seeing this shit in the stores, and I'm like, I don't like it. I've always been a very feminine person. I like feminine clothing. I like lace. I like fitted items. And the 2000s and 10s are just like not that. It's just not that. It's not. It's not. It's not. Oh my god, someone says all at 800% the cost we paid in 2006. Yeah, and the thing is, this isn't early 2000s. This is late 2000s. 2010s need to be banned. I don't want it. Also, who's asking for this? Who said, yeah, we need 2010 clothing? I feel like the stylists or the trend forecasters are just trying to piece together recession indicators and the pattern of trends, and they're naturally going from like 90s to like the 2000s to 2010s. It's no, don't do it. Don't do it. Just skip it. Someone says, I love that fashion is so cyclical because I can buy everything I couldn't buy back then. She was definitely 12 or 13 years old when she saw this in the mall, because I remember seeing this stuff. For like Gen Zers who are like 17 or like 16 or 18, I think this is the first time that they're exposed to these trends or this era, but I've already experienced it, and it's enough. It's enough. Like, let's make new trends. And the thing is, I'm always confused why right now we're going back to what we used to do. Why can't we make like unique stuff? Why can't we make our own era? Because why does 2025 have to be 2010 again? Why can't we have like 2025 eras? We have to make our own eras, you know? We have to be unique. How are we going to remember 2025 as a marker of 2010 again? No. No. Marissa says, I remember during this time I just chose to wear men's clothes because I literally couldn't fit the clothing of early 2000s. Yeah, their sizing was whack. A large was like a small. I remember. Because my mom would always buy things like 2 sizes bigger, so it would last me like 5 years. So let's say I was technically a small. She would buy it in like a medium/large. That shit will last 5 years. That's why I think I like oversized fits. Okay, let's move on because this shit is messed up. It's messed up. It's messed up. Okay, so the other thing that I was saying is how the fur boots are coming back. Sorry, my Mexican accent today is coming on strong. I do not have my American accent on today. So sorry. Should I act like a Karen for the rest of the live stream so I can get the ideal sustainable fashion demographic to care about my stuff? Wait, I have to act like a pretentious Karen to like get people's attention. Wait, I need to act a bit more privileged. I can't with the accents today. I can't keep. What if ICE comes and raids me? Okay. That was a bad joke. Hopefully you don't know where I live because I am definitely Mexican American. Lol, me too. Yeah, for sustainable moms. Sometimes I wish I was a bit more of their demographic so they could actually watch me, but then I'm like, dang, I would have to change a lot about me, and I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like it. Okay, so basically Crocs has come out with a fur boot. Now, I don't know why Crocs is doing this, to be honest. Again, this is late 2000s. I honestly hate this. Everyone is getting on the late 2010s. I don't want this. No. No. Why do we need this? Who's gonna wear this boot? Can we just take a second? Who's gonna wear this? Who's gonna wear this? I'm not happy. Crocs, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they're literally making the boots with the fur. They literally took the song too seriously. Honestly, I'm not gonna change my style though. I'm not gonna change. So everyone can have the boots with the fur, but I'm gonna be in my 90s grunge clothing. That's really it. How did Crocs even get this idea? What's going on? The unforgettable leopard print knee-high boot. Probably gonna cost like almost $200. Jesus Christ. Ew, there's more of them. There's leopard Crocs. Leopard fur slide slippers as well. No, why are we doing this? All I do is complain. All of these are late stage capitalism indicators.
You can now own the boots with the fur that T-Pain sings and raps about with Flo-Rida in their song Low. Check out their new leopard knee-high boot. Crocs says the furry boots are one of a kind with a new design element, things like a backstrap, clip, and metal loop rivet. Look at those. Fans can purchase the limited edition
$160?
$159.99 online. Unfortunately, I don't think the apple-bottom jeans come with the Crocs boots with the fur.
Oh man, that would complete it so well.
It would. It would be the biggest collab of all. But yeah, the boots with the fur.
I'll just have an apple with it.
Been,
That's halfway, right?
Been singing it all day ever since I saw that story.
There you go. I love it. Very nice.
All right, give us one last look at your forecast before everybody heads out.
Let's do it. We got a couple of showers moving through the area this afternoon. Should be.
Not them talking about the weather after showing us these damn Crocs. Zero comments. Dang. The fur Crocs. Ugh. I'm in pain. I'm in pain. Who's gonna buy $160 Crocs? Boots with the fur. Oh, they're so ugly. And there's just a lot of local news people picking up on it. What's going on?
And rapper T-Pain.
These are very DIY. Oh, these are very DIY-able. They are actually. Wait, I didn't think about that. Just trying to find positives. Yeah. Thanks. Positive thinking. Yes.
With Crocs. The two are bringing to life boots with the fur from Flo-Rida's classic song Low, which features the artist, they call this creation.
Nope. We don't need it. I'm just trying to find some comments. T-Pain bringing the fun to the Crocs. Very impressive of him. Did he run out of money? I think he ran out of money. But maybe not. Maybe he's just doing it for the funsies. And also because there's a trend of the late 2010s coming up again. Or early 2000s? Or late 2000s. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. 2008s. That I like the black ones. That one's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay. Well, wait, why are they saying a restock? There's leopard Croc restocks?
If you've been trying to get your hands on these unforgettable
Christmas, I think, is what's going on. They just want us to buy.
Crocs in the color leopard, they're finally back. They have sold out every single time they came back, literally within minutes. If you're wanting to grab these, you have to run for them. Check the shopping cart down below, see if they're still in stock, and see if your size is available. You're going to want to hurry for these ones. If you've been trying to get your hands on these unforgettable Crocs in the color leopard, they're finally...
They're kind of cute in a Temu way. I'd probably pay like $20 for those, not like $200.
Finally back. They have sold out every single time they came back, literally within minutes. If you're wanting to grab these, you have to run for them. Check the shopping cart down below, see if they're still in stock, and see if your size is available. You're going to want to hurry for these.
I've been thinking about Christmas shopping. I'm just going to buy everything from the bins. It's also going to be my mom's birthday soon, on the 13th to be exact. To be exact here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be celebrating my mom's birthday, which is on a Thursday. So typically I stream on Thursdays, but I'm not going to stream on Thursday because it's my mother's birthday. But again, I think I'm just going to thrift something from the bins. I'm just going to thrift something from the bins. I really want to go to the bins tomorrow, but my dad is fixing my car for other stuff. So I may just go with my mom, but can you go birthday shopping if your mom's there? But I do sell stuff on Depop, so I can just be like, oh, this is for Depop. Or I can bring a bag and just stuff it with shit. Maybe I'll go tomorrow with my mother. And I'll just stuff it in a bag and she won't see. There's just a lot of good stuff. There's just a lot of good stuff in the bins. I'm addicted to the bins. I haven't been in like 3 weeks. As soon as I start talking about the bins, my energy comes back. I've been very monotone and tired this entire live stream, and as soon as I talk about the bins, I'm back. I'm happy. It's an addiction. And I haven't been though. I haven't been in like 3 weeks. Happy birthday to my mom. Yes. She's getting old. I don't know what to get her. I think a sweater or something. How does my family react to thrifted presents? I love that idea, but my family's not on board. Oh. Well, I think they need like exposure therapy. So I had a friend in college who had never gone thrifting before, and I showed her my love for thrifting. I was always posting on Instagram my thrifted stuff, and she just learned a lot about sustainability and like the thrift culture through me. And she got really curious, and then she asked me if we could go to a thrift store, which was like a Goodwill near my campus. And so she drove us there, and I just like gave her a tour of the store. You would think, okay, people can explore a store on their own. She like needed help. Wait, let me move myself away from T-Pain. But she just really needed me to hold her hand, and I think maybe that's what family members need, to hold their hand in a metaphorical way. But she was standing next to me the entire time. She seemed scared. It was almost like she was gonna go in a haunted house. She was asking a lot of questions too, which is good. You know, very smart girl. It's just she didn't know what she was facing. And now it just explained the layout. Like, okay, here's the books. These are used books. Here's the women's clothing. We have a lot of women's clothing usually in thrift stores because that's usually what's going on in the fashion industry. Like, fashion brands target women. We consume a lot and we throw it away or donate it very quickly. They target us, you know? So we're always going to find a lot of women's clothing. So I said most of the store is going to be women's clothing, and it's often categorized in sweaters, shirts, pants, and dresses and skirts, I think. If they have skirts. Sometimes they don't sell skirts for whatever reason. They're not that popular, to be honest. And I just showed her like how it worked. Like I told her, okay, here's the sizes, or here's the colors. Like sometimes they categorize based on size or by color. And then I just like walked around the store with her. And I feel like that's the best orientation to like secondhand shopping if they're not on board. And then I just explained like everything needs to be washed, because a lot of times they're thinking about the stigma of thrifting, the stigma of secondhand, and I think they're gonna get like a bacterial infection or something, or they're going to die. Which you have to be very patient. I've explained so many times to so many different people you're not gonna die. I also gave a tour to another person that again had never thrifted. I had to explain to her, as long as you wash it maybe once or twice if you want, you'll be fine. I've been thrifting my entire life and nothing has ever happened. Nothing. I've been digging through the bins for years. I've never gotten sick. Never. So maybe it's luck, but also like I wash stuff. And if you want to wear gloves, wear gloves. Like if you want to go to a normal Goodwill store and wear gloves, then do that, you know? But yeah, I think it's just like having patience. And then I just like tell them I care about secondhand shopping because like I don't want to support exploitative practices. So it like grounds them in the reality of like values versus just their stigmas or their fears. But I'm an introverted person, so I just let people talk. And like if they see that you're listening and helping them process and like adding points or like clarifying stuff, like I feel like their head starts to unfog. There's just a lot in the head. They need some cognitive unfogging of their stigmas and biases and their fears. But if you don't take them any place, like physically in a store, then you could give them a really good gift. My mom doesn't mind. I mean, she raised me in thrift stores. We didn't have an option. We were like poor. So yeah, she's like a bargain hunter. She's like a thrift hunter. She showed me the tips. Like, we would be in the thrift stores for hours. Like, it was our hobby. It was her hobby. It became my hobby. She was very stingy. So, like, if I found 3 options I really liked, she would make me, like, debate which one I really liked. She'd be like, which one do you actually really like? I'm like, but I like all 3 of them. She's like, well, you can only choose one. So she would weigh the pros and cons. She's like, well, that one has a little hole. This one's a bit tight on you. This one seems outdated. You keep going to this item. So I actually refined my taste because I had a limited budget with my stingy mom. And because I spent so much time looking for stuff, I really sharpened my eye of like, yes, like this is what I've been looking for versus like just guessing and like putting whatever in a cart. Marissa says, good point. My family knows all my clothes are thrifted, and so are most things in my home, but I've never taken them with me. Maybe I'll give them an experience. What? Maybe I'll give an experience gift of a trip to the thrift store. Yeah, it's fun. You spend quality time. If they get impatient, that's something to be expected. But I went with female friends, and they wanted to try stuff on. Like, after they got the tour, after they started understanding what was going on, they actually tried things on. To put a jacket on is like a huge win. Maybe that's a good start. Be like, oh, I think this jacket would be cute for you. Make them put it on. They'll start to grab other stuff. Yes. A good hangout is always good. So maybe I'll go to the thrift store tomorrow with my mom. Or to the bins. I wonder what I'll find. I know her style really well, but you never know what you're going to find at the bins. And I don't want her to see it too. But it's good. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'll just wander away. I always wander away. Just shove it in my bag. And she loves thrifting, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be good. All right. So we're going to move on. There's been a lot of niche collaborations going on, and I was really tempted to buy these. These are the Dia de los Muertos concha shoes. Basically bread shoes. I don't know how I get recommended this stuff on Instagram. But when I saw these, I was like, yes. You have reached you have reached the demographic. Bread shoes, man, you need them. But I do think Adidas is doing this for the money. Adidas has been getting in a lot of contentious moments of gentrification and like cultural appropriation. So I don't think this is a wholesome move on their part. And they called it pan de muerto, which is a good combination of the word pan, which is bread, and Dia de los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead. So it's like bread of the dead. Every day I just laugh my pains away. Okay, I wonder how much they cost. Okay, I'm gonna guess they cost $200. $200 for these. $200. Let's see. Translate in Spanish to English. They're on Journeys. These are Journey shoes. Oh, those look so cool. They look AI generated. Would people actually buy these? No, not the freaking normal Nike thing popping up. Where is it? I don't think I'm on the right site. Blah, 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 blah. Is Nike connected to Adidas? I'm not entirely sure. Why is it leading me to this? Uh-oh. Okay, so we have the bread shoe here. Dia de los Muertos. Pan de Muertos. Pan Muertos. I'm searching it up. You just can't see it because my face is in the way. Ooh, they got Mexican gear. Pan de Muertos. Pan de Muertos. I don't see it. Did they just sell us a concept and not a reality? What is it? I feel like this was mostly a PR move to get our attention, to be like, oh, Adidas cares. But I don't see any of the links for it. Adidas Pan de Muerto shoe. Oh, $120? Why is that under Journeys? I believe it's a youth shoe. Not the stuttering. Oh, it's under Journeys Kids. It's a kid shoe. $120? That doesn't even look like a concha. Oh. What sizes do they got? Size 9. Oh, it's a women's shoe, but under Journeys? Journeys Adidas. Pan de Muerto. Oh, they got the little sticker here? I'm both fascinated and repulsed by this concept. $120 is a lot of money for shoes that look like bread. Do I like them? No. I wanted the concha ones. Those are pretty cool. Imagine if this was your job to design. Yeah, I designed a bread shoe today. Yeah, just another day. Oh my goodie. And they were released back in August. I didn't hear about these. Huh. Designed as skate shoes. The men's pair takes the freshly baked tan sweet upper and covers it with white speckled all over print to replicate the sugar granules on top of pan de muerto. Okay. Alright. So Campus 000, the Campus 00 Dia de los Muertos pack will be released September 2025. I want to know who the designers are. Who worked on this? I don't really support this. This is just unnecessary. I mean, obviously it's trying to capture our attention, but like, do straight up Mexican Americans or just Mexicans wear this? I don't know. I mean, I am the demographic, but would I wear this? Not really. I'm not a skater either. So to combine so many different things together is just a very niche topic. You have to be a skater or like skater shoes. You need to be interested in Dia de los Muertos, and you need to like bread. And you need to like these colors. Very niche topic. Very niche. I don't think they sold out, to be honest. Just go to a local panderia. Yeah, just eat the bread. Duh. Very confused. Okay, so we're gonna move on because that just confused me. There's a lot of other collections too. Nopalera and Mother Sierra, they had a little collection. Actually, that would be a cool candle. The Nopalera candle. I wonder what it smells like. That's Nepo baby money. I don't have money for niche candles. Okay. Raggedy Teeth is Fall 25 Amore Eterno capsule collection. Oh, that sweater's cute. The sweatshirt's cute. Oh, I don't need it though. I don't need it. I can just screen print it. I have screen printing sheets. That's an idea. Just screen print the image. Bath products? Lush Dia de Muerto skin and bath products. Oh no. We've commodified everything. There's a Lego set? A Lego Day of the Dead altar. No freaking way. Wait, why do I kind of like this? I've never made a Lego set before. Maybe this can be my first one. Why do people like Legos though? Dia Legos Altar de Muertos, Amazon, Mexico. So I can't even get this for myself? This is in pesos, so it'd be like $90. Sheesh. Oh, these are for the privileged Mexicans. Like Mexico City people. They got money. I'm starting to understand. I was thinking through a US American lens. People from Mexico can buy the bread shoes. Oh, it's starting to piece together. Okay. Lego has a website. Let's see. $15? Oh, that's not bad. Actually, that would be kind of fun to do. No. Let me continue. Reject all cookies. That's actually cute. It's unnecessary, but cute. Do I need this? No. Do I want it? Yes. Aww. That's so cute. I would have this in my house like all year round. Just a little place on the table and like a hallway. And then my cat just destroys it. That would be fun. That would be really fun. I feel like you would only be able to have this in your house if nothing else was going on. There was no cats, no animals, no children. It's just the ultimate definition of privilege. Just so much privilege to have this in your house. Okay, so we're going to move on. And let's see, what else should we talk about? Sorry, I'm low energy today. It's just, I'm streaming because I didn't stream earlier this week. And I was like, there's so much going on that I at least wanted to touch on some things before streaming again next week. So let's see. Oh, okay, Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish has donated so much freaking money and was calling out the millionaires. I'm sure you've already heard of this. If not, we should watch a video. I don't have my headphones on because they died like 10 minutes within the live stream. So fun fact, I've been listening to these streams blindly. What do I mean by that? I have not been listening to any of the videos I've been showing. I've been winging it. Let's see, donates millions. But hey, you get to listen. That's what matters. That's what matters here. Donates millions. 8 days ago? I feel like it's been like a month. I feel like so many things happen so quickly on the internet in the world that 8 days feels like a month. I feel like I'm so behind. But it's been 8 days. It's been 8 days. Okay, let's see. All right. Associated Press. Associated Press. I've never really listened to Billie Eilish. I'm not a fan of her, to be totally honest. But her ideals are very aligned to mine, so I respect that. She doesn't need my respect, but I respect that.
Now where the world is really, really bad and really dark, and people need empathy and help more than kind of ever, especially in our country. And I'd say if you have money, it would be great to use it for good things and maybe give it to some people that need it. And love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Just give away your money, shorties. Why are you a billionaire? Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe because they've been hoarding all the wealth. Billionaires did not earn their wealth through hard work, someone says, but through a system that's designed to make them richer. A billionaire did not work a billion times harder than you did. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm trying my best to work myself out of poverty. Let me tell you, that shit is difficult. I be working so many hours. I have so many things that I'm working on all the time. For the chance of building out like my dreams and my career and my financial stability. But just alone with my minimum wage job, I make like $1,500 a month. That may sound like a lot, but it's not. A lot of people are paying just $1,000 in rent. A lot of people are paying insurances and food and medical stuff and personal things. Like, 1,500 is not a lot. So if I was to continue my lifestyle for the entire year, in sum, 1.5 times 12, it's not even reaching 30K. Who can survive off of 30K? You know, like, I'm in extreme poverty. So how can I work myself out of poverty given the jobs that I have? If you only get paid $15 or $16, get unstable schedules, how are you going to work yourself out of poverty? And I do want to note, like, talking from my own personal experiences, I had to literally beg my manager to give me a stable schedule for this November. The only reason why I'm able to have have a life, sorry, I'm stuttering a lot. The only reason why I'm having the ability to have a life is because I begged my manager to give me a stable schedule. October was a shit show because they were just scheduling me whenever. They were like, oh, work on Saturday, bitch. Work on Sunday. Work on Tuesday. Work on Wednesday. Work every single freaking day. One day they had me work like almost 9 hours with no break. That's against labor laws. And then they scheduled me for like 7 and 50 minutes. 7 hours and 50 minutes. I didn't say that right. 7 hours and 50 minutes. Because you're legally pressured to give someone a break after 8 hours or at 8 hours of work. And they would say, oh, it's accidental because this girl has to come in at this time and you are supposed to end at this time. But adding it up, I'm only working 7 hours and 50 minutes. It's purposeful, not accidental. But they're like, oh, we're not trying to be insidious and we just need workers and we're trying to be fair. Fair to who? And I work for the government, technically. I work for the local government. It's a locally funded, state-funded initiative. People pay taxes for this service. And I don't even get paid more than $15 an hour. How am I going to work myself out of poverty, buddy? And then they're like, oh, I expect you to be here for 2 years. That's what my manager told me. I'm not staying here for 2 years. I do not want to stay in poverty for 2 years. I'm only in these jobs because I have nothing. So I'm working my hardest to stabilize and have better opportunities, but still, even if I had a better job, even if I was making more, to reach the $1 million status will take so much luck and also so much support from so many people. I would probably need my own business or have a lot of backing from like powerful millionaires or rich people, you know, or just a lot of support from a collective. I don't have that right now, so I can't work myself out of poverty, and I don't have a lot of luck. I don't have luck. I can build the luck, but I don't have it. I do think that for billionaires, they do have the ethical implication to help their society, and I think they should. It's the right thing to do for billionaires to help, especially when there's so many struggling people and this job market is trash and companies are hiring less and less. Someone says in the comments, I'm just a billion short of being a billionaire. Yeah. I think most people would agree. We're struggling. We're living paycheck to paycheck. It's very sad, and I don't wish anyone to be living paycheck to paycheck, but our current society is just, what I like to say, uninhabitable. Is anyone truly living? And how are we having our own space? Like, most of us are like renting. And if we have our own apartments, just like getting most of our check. When I was living in Montana, like most people my age were living like 6 people in one house. Ugh. No one wants to live with 6 other people that are your age. There's no privacy. There's no sense of like, okay, I can just chill out and have full control of this building today. No, you have to like go in the kitchen and like haggle for the sink, for the stove. And then you're trying to listen to your music and people are watching the TV. It doesn't really work out sometimes. Let's see. Billie donated around 10 million and her net worth is 50 million. For those of you struggling with basic math, 10 million is 20% of 50 million and 1% of a billion. Yeah, she gave away a lot of her net worth. I think she was incredibly generous and I applaud her for that, but it's just a beginning. I think she's going to be making more money. I mean, she is a successful artist. She will have to decide whether she wants to continue in this pattern, if she'll continue donating. But she should also like volunteer, you know, like get her hands dirty, get directly involved with those that she's helping. I don't like when people just get stuck in a concept, you know, like you can donate your money, but I actually want you to show up for your community. So even if she just spends like an hour at a food pantry or like just talking to people that she's helping, I think that could really ground her for the rest of her life. Because if you just throw out money and don't really feel the direct impact or see the direct impact, then it just remains a conceptual thing, and then you can start to feel morally superior and like egotistical from that. I've seen that happen to others where they just like give money but they don't actually like take action, and it makes them think that they're better humans compared to everyone else. But no, buddy, you're just a person. Doesn't matter if you're giving your money away, you're just a person. This is common sense work. It's just no one else is doing it, so now we're starting to act like we're better people because we're doing common sense work. No, this is just common sense. We shouldn't make it a thing. It should just be a thing. You know, let's normalize being good people. So, yes, hopefully she gets her hands dirty. But to the billionaires, like, bro, why do they have so much money? Because they're greedy mullah heckers. They're greedy mullah heckers. Okay, but talking about positive news, well, let's talk about New York. New York. So exciting. This has been everywhere on social media. It's been everywhere. You have probably seen this man's face. But I have to do my due diligence and talk about the man of the hour, Zoran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York. Yes, sir. The right wing is crying right now in their bed. Wait. He's not our mayor. Yes, sir, he is. Yes, sir, he is.
Ran a magical campaign. It was noticed globally, and comments like these flooded in. The 34-year-old, who's been called a lunatic by U.S. President Donald Trump, won in New York City's mayoral election on Tuesday. Last year, barely anyone knew his name. He had little money and no institutional support from the Democratic Party. But this week, record number of voters showed up to the ballot boxes, and Mamdani won over half of those voters.
This is pretty exceptional. It's been many years since any politician has generated this sort of excitement in New York.
Before we get into how he pulled it off, here are some of his firsts. He's New York City's first Muslim mayor, its first South Asian mayor, its first mayor who was born in Africa, and almost certainly the first New York City mayor to have met his wife on the dating app Hinge. We'll talk more about New York City's new First Lady, 28-year-old Rama Duwaji, in a moment. He's also the youngest mayor of the city in over a century. Some critics have used that to claim he doesn't have the required experience. So, what other roles has he held before this one? Born in Uganda to Indian parents, Mamdani moved to New York with his family at the age of 7. His mother, Mira Nair, is a celebrated film director, and his father, Professor Mahmoud Mamdani, teaches at Columbia University. Both are alumni of Harvard University. Zohran attended the Bronx High School of Science and later got a degree in Africana Studies from Bowdoin College. Before politics, he worked as a housing counselor, helping low-income homeowners fight eviction. And you've probably seen the old videos because he also used to be a rapper, performing under the names Young Cardamom and Mr. Cardamom. Go ahead, make a rap for your naughty. Earlier this year, he married Brooklyn-based artist Rama Duwaji, who he'd matched up with on Hinge. At 28, she will be the youngest First Lady the city has ever had. Born in Texas, she is of Syrian heritage, and throughout the campaign, she helped Mamdani shape his branding from behind the scenes. What's his plan for New York City? He's proposed rent freezes and stricter accountability for negligent landlords. He also wants a chain of city-owned grocery stores focused on affordability, a free bus service, universal child care from 6 weeks to 5 years, more rent-stabilized, union-built housing, and a flat 2% tax for people in the city earning more than $1 million a year. But maverick real estate partners argue that freezing rent would be catastrophic for landlords. And the company that runs New York's public transport says the bus plans would cost far more than expected. On Israel-Gaza, his views go further than most Democrats. He said he believes Israel is committing genocide in Gaza and that its Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, should be arrested. Israel strongly rejects all accusations of genocide. So, lots of big ideas, but he's likely to come up against backlash when trying to put them into practice. He's already a target for Trump, who's called him a lunatic communist and threatened to withhold federal funding from New York City. But he's not backing down.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, turn the volume up!
And then there's New York's governor, Democrat Kathy Hochul. She's already opposed to his tax plans. And even if he finds the money, Mamdani won't be able to carry out some of his ideas without state approval. But for at least 4 years, he'll represent New York's 8 million residents. And some have asked if after that he could run for president. But as it stands, the answer is no. The Constitution states a president or vice president must have been a U.S. citizen at birth. Mamdani will be sworn in as mayor on the 1st of January.
Buddy yaddy, buddy yaddy, Zoran, Zoran, Zoran. Buddy yaddy, 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 yaddy. So exciting. Will he save the garment district? It's not one of his top priorities, but I haven't seen anyone ask him about what's going on with the garment district in New York, but that would be a very interesting question. I mean, that's my concern. But I'm sure that he is against exploitation and, you know, the gentrification of certain areas in New York. So we'll see what happens with the urban planning and how he carries out his time in New York. Also, his wife is a real star here. His wife is so beautiful. She's 28. She's my age. And she's actually going to be the youngest first woman, I think it's what they're called, ever in the history of New York. So let's take a look at her style. Also, she's an artist. She's an illustrator. She does ceramic work. So she's very talented, very artistic. I think she would be such a lovely person to like just meet and see like what she thinks about her husband and the work that he does. I don't know what she thinks or like who she is, but she did help create the Zoran graphics for the campaign. She was the one behind the graphic that said Zoran in red and yellow. But she seems lovely, very fashionable. A lot of people were saying that she's like the black cat to the golden retriever. Like they do give that vibe. But I'm very curious like what she thinks and who she is and stuff. So, but I'm sure she's very incredibly supportive and very aligned. Like why wouldn't she, you know? But I don't know her. I don't know her. A lot of people were saying that she has a very strong sense of self-identity because she hasn't really been posting about her husband on social media. Like she just posts things that have inspired her with art. So, I mean, I'm sure that she completely supports him in every single way, but like she still remains herself and has her own identity within the election and within what's going on right now. So, yeah, I want to see an interviewer. I want to see an interview from her. I do think I'm going to jump off. I'm incredibly hungry and just tired. It is a Saturday morning, so I'm going to jump off soon, but yeah, I haven't seen any interviews with her. I just kind of care more about her than Mom Don. Yeah, Zoran is cool, but I actually want to know about his wife. What is his wife up to? But yeah, she's an artist and an illustrator, ceramicist, and that's who I'm paying attention to. But hopefully, like, everything that Zoran has been saying he wants to accomplish, hopefully he does accomplish it. It's going to be a huge road ahead for him. He's going to have a lot of challenges. He is going to be very busy, to say the least. But yeah, let's hear him talk a bit. Let's hear him yap, even though I want to talk to his wife. Let's get the wife in here. Let's get the wife. Let's talk to the artist.
New York City, Zoran Mamdani, congratulations. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
You broke a lot of new ground last night. First Muslim mayor of New York, first Democratic Socialist, first mayor to win more than 1 million votes in, 3 decades, youngest mayor in more than a century. So what is the message and the mandate behind that?
The message is about transforming the most expensive city in the United States of America into one that's affordable for each and every New Yorker. And what New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs gave us last night was a mandate to pursue the most ambitious affordability agenda the city has seen since the days of Fiorello LaGuardia. And it's time that we start to deliver it.
Well, let's dig into that, because you're talking about a rent freeze, you're talking about free buses, you're talking about free childcare. Can you do that without raising taxes?
I think you can do that, and I think you have to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers who make more than $1 million a year, and you do that by raising taxes by them 2%. And then you also increase the corporate tax of New York State to match that of New Jersey. So that takes us from about 7.25 to about 11.5%, which is what we see in New Jersey. These things together raise about $9 billion, which more than pays for our economic agenda and also starts to Trump-proof our state.
But are you worried that could drive a lot of job creators out of New York?
So what I've heard from a number of business leaders is that the affordability crisis is also affecting their ability to attract and retain talent. The city's inability to provide childcare means that businesses often have to provide stipends for that childcare. Right now, the absence of universal childcare means that a family will pay around $22,500 a year, which is more money than many of them would spend if they sent that same kid to college 18 years later. And it is time for city government to actually step up to the responsibility that it has.
Not just the city government, that kind of a tax increase is going to require the state as well, including the governor, Kathy Hochul. Is she on board?
You know, I'm proud to have Governor Kathy Hochul's endorsement and the endorsement of our agenda, specifically universal childcare. And I've said time and again, I think these are the two most direct and straightforward ways to raise this revenue. If there are other ways to raise this funds, the most important thing is that we actually fund this agenda.
You said that President Trump was watching you last night. It appears that he was watching you. And it also appears that he and other Republicans are trying to make you the poster boy of the Democratic Party. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, calls you a true extremist and a Marxist. And he says now every House Democrat incumbent and candidate will co-own Mamdani's disastrous record in the 2026 midterms. How do you respond to that?
Well, I'm looking forward to showing the power of an example here in New York City, an example of what it means to not just diagnose the despair in working people's lives as the cost of living crisis, but to deliver on it. And that's the contrast between myself and President Trump. He's someone who ran an entire presidential campaign on the promise of cheaper groceries and is now, as the president, making it harder for Americans to afford those groceries by cutting SNAP benefits.
You worried he's going to crack down on New York City, maybe even do what he's done and tried to do in Portland and other cities, call the National Guard in?
You know, I think that his threats are inevitable. I also know that it's time we actually call this for what it is. This has nothing to do with safety. It has to do with intimidation. If it was safety, President Trump would be threatening to deploy the National Guard to the top 10 states of crime, 8 out of which are all Republican-led, but because of that party, he won't actually be doing so.
So you say you won't be intimidated. How do you stand up to it?
I think there's a number of ways. The first thing is you actually utilize the courts. You stop treating things as being law just by virtue of the fact that President Trump is saying them. You can look at the example of California, where you find the Attorney General, the Governor, and the Mayor of LA coming together, filing a lawsuit in opposition to the deployment of the National Guard. A federal judge found in their favor, and the Attorney General estimated that for every dollar they spent, they recovered more than $30,000 in funds that would have otherwise been seized by the federal government.
How about crime? Have you convinced Commissioner Tisch to stay on the police commissioner?
You know, I've made my decision to retain Commissioner Tisch, and I've done so because Eric Adams had stacked the upper echelons of the NYPD with incompetence and corruption. She came in, started to tackle that, deliver accountability, and reduce crime across the 5 boroughs. That is what we would build upon under a Mamdani administration, in addition to creating a Department of Community Safety to tackle the mental health and homelessness crisis head on.
You've made your decision. Has she made hers?
I am looking forward to continue to having conversations with her and to assembling a government of the best and the brightest to deliver on this agenda.
You know, last night you also said you wanted to reach out to New Yorkers who didn't vote for you. Probably highest on that list is Jewish New Yorkers. It looks like there was about a 30-point gap, according to the exit polls, between you and former Governor Cuomo. How do you convince those voters that your vision of New York includes them and your victory is not a threat to them?
You know, I was on the M57 not too long ago, which is the slowest bus in New York City, 4.9 miles an hour. And I was seated next to a woman who introduced herself to me as a speech therapist. And she told me that she was Jewish, and she said that her daughter is a huge fan in phone banks from college and that she wasn't so sure. And I asked her to share, and she shared her thoughts about what it also means to be Jewish in New York City today, and the scourge of anti-Semitism that often worries her, that she was trying to sell her apartment. A realtor told her to put away, in her words, the Jewish books on her bookshelf. And I told her that this was unacceptable, that we were fighting for a city that didn't just protect Jewish New Yorkers, but celebrated and cherished those same New Yorkers. And I'm looking forward to being the mayor for every single person that calls the city home, and showing that my job is not to remake City Hall in my image, but rather in the image of struggling New Yorkers. And that means New Yorkers will find themselves and their struggles in people who have decision-making power across my administration.
You said a lot of that during the campaign, but it didn't seem to work with this group of voters. What more can you do now?
Well, I think there are a lot of voters for whom the trust comes from the actions that you actually take. Many have, have understandably been disappointed by politics and the promises that have been made by many before me. Now, my opportunity is actually to deliver as the next mayor of the city.
I was struck by a tweet that came out last night on X from Bill Ackman, who was one of your biggest opponents in the campaign. Billionaire, spent a lot of money trying to defeat you, but he did congratulate you and say he wants you to call on him to help New York. What are you going to call on him to do?
Well, I appreciated his words, and I think what I find is that there is a needed commitment from leaders of the city to speak and work with anyone who is committed to lowering the cost of living in the city, and that's something that I will fulfill.
Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you so much.
His time is his to show his true colors. May he take the actions that he speaks so eloquently about. May he be strong in his values and his takes. May he be honorable and fair as he promises to be. As he himself has said, a lot of people have been disappointed in what people have promised in the past. And he is alluding that he will take proper action to what he's promised. So we'll just see. We'll just go ahead and see what he ends up doing. I trust that he'll do the right thing, that he'll take action to the campaigns, to the topics he's wanting to address, but these are huge things that will take a lot of effort to change. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And it's crazy how so many billionaires wanted him to lose, and yet he still won. I think it's an indication about what New York people want. They want change, they want better rent, they want better living situations, they want a chance to survive. So there's so much hope for him. I know a lot of people are inspired by him. So many activists, so many politicians are looking at him, and this new wave and this new movement that has been created with him, through him. Leftists are emerging. People are believing that hope is a valid thing to have. They can start the vision. They can start seeing the vision of tomorrow that's a bit better than today. So I think he's doing a lot of intellectual good. Just the thought that things are going to change, I feel like can really create that change that people want. It's almost like a domino effect, because we believe things can change, it then changes because we believe in the power of it. So yeah, he's a good symbol. He's just a symbol, though. He represents us. So I'm hopeful for the New Yorkers who's going to take action, who's going to change things as well. I think the city will, be more willing to come together as a collective than ever before. So the weight of everything shouldn't just go on one man. It should go on the collective. And as a collective, I think we'll really change things. And because we decided to all together believe in one person to represent us, I think we'll be caught in the yin-yang of he does this, I do that. He does this, I do that. We do this, he does that. We have to function together, not just blame everything or look for everything in one person. He's not God, so we shouldn't act like that, But I feel like we're just inspired by hope, and I think that'll be more than enough for now, as we face so many snap cuts. I don't know if you guys have heard about the snap cuts. I'm sure you have, which is sad. I was personally raised, again, very low income, and I benefited from the child, like, snap version. I think it was called WIC. It was where they would give free food to mothers or families that were very poor and couldn't afford baby food. So I was a WIC baby. I was a little WIC baby. Had the free food as a little baby. Without the government's help, I probably wouldn't be so strong-minded, so strong-muscled. But yeah, it's really sad how they're removing the SNAP benefits. I think it's just impossible to survive right now, and then for you to remove our freaking food? Like, what the freaks? We gotta eat. We can't have people starve. Let's look at this.
Supermarket hallways like these tend to be packed during this time of the year. But as you can see, it is completely empty. We spoke to the general manager of this North Philly supermarket, who tells us that because of the SNAP cuts, people are now only focusing on what's necessary.
People are buying what they need now, basically what they just need.
That is the sentiment outside a North Philly supermarket Wednesday night, as the government shutdown continues and SNAP benefits for millions of Americans remain on hold. Grocery stores are now starting to feel the impact on sales, and the timing could not be worse, with Thanksgiving right around the corner.
We really feel bad for customers. We're hoping this stops. I really think it's not going to be a holiday this year. I really think already people are very stressed.
Alex Ibrahim, manager of Cousins Supermarket in Hunting Park, tells NBC 10 that while the halt in SNAP benefits isn't forcing them to raise prices, it is changing shopping habits. Customers are buying only what's necessary for their families.
And this is the sad part. You're talking about November, the beginning of the month. This aisle alone, I have 20 customers back and forth, filling up the customers and the employees.
On Monday, the Trump administration announced it will restart SNAP food benefits, but it will only pay out half the amount people normally get. The problem is it's unclear when people will get that money.
Our business went down less than 50–60% down.
As so many other grocery stores across the country. According to the Center of American Progress, an independent nonpartisan policy institute, supermarkets in high poverty areas could see sales drop between 40 and 90% due to SNAP cuts.
It is bad because the parking lot is empty. That means the supermarket ain't gonna make no money.
Jose Rodriguez lives in North Philly. While he doesn't rely on SNAP himself, he knows plenty of people who do. He fears things may get worse before they get better.
They're gonna start doing things that just to put food on the table.
Shaira Arias, NBC 10 News.
Oh, brother. What is going on? Oh, brother. And the thing is, I feel for the families because they're literally living paycheck to paycheck. They quite literally can't afford this to happen. What are these poor families, these poor people are going to do? Thanksgiving is coming up. And you can say, oh, go to food pantries. With everyone going to food pantries, it's just they can only keep up. They can only serve so many people. And a lot of TikTokers, a lot of people with privilege have been buying food and then donating it to pantries so they can give it out. So that's a good thing. But there's always been this idea like, well, you should just work more. Just work more to like have money so you can feed your family or feed yourself. You can't rely on the government to be always helping you. But we literally pay tax money for the government to represent us. If people need help, it's, I think, common sense thinking to help those that are literally going hungry. I don't think this should be a political conversation, although politics has everything to do with it. But at the end of the day, what we're talking about is humans being capable of eating. That shouldn't be dictated by our political ideologies. at the end of the day, the thing that we all have to do is survive. We all have to eat food. For politicians to be like, just work harder. No. The thing is, these people already have 2, 3, 4 jobs. And SNAP is for those that are like older and for very young individuals. So the elderly and the most vulnerable are the ones impacted the most. They're already struggling as is. We shouldn't increase their suffering even more.
We're going to be...
This is such an evil thing to do, to take away the basic help that we need to survive.
Tonight hoping to get their SNAP benefits during the ongoing government shutdown. The state reports about 200,000 people had only half of their normal benefits loaded onto that EBT card this month.
8 News Now reporter Kamari Escara shows us how our community once again is stepping up to help.
Families started lining up early this morning here at the Neighborhood Recreation Center. By 10 a.m., the line was wrapped all the way around the building.
You can tell by the line that there is a need, and so as long as we can provide, we will be out here.
Dozens of families showed up with wagons, grocery carts, even laundry baskets, hoping to stock up on food. They received everything from fresh fruits and veggies to canned goods and frozen items. Cedrica Stewart, a mom raising 5 boys, says she's doing everything she can to keep food on the table. She only received half of her SNAP benefits this month, and this is the second time she's had to get assistance from a food bank.
We don't have no food, and they only put $4.31 on my card yesterday, so I'm just out here trying to get some service for me and the kids. Coming to the food banks has helped us a lot.
And she's not alone. Just a few miles away, the Veterans Resource Center also held a drive-through food bank near the Skyview YMCA. Shakita Millage says she wasn't sure if her SNAP benefits would even come through this month.
I didn't know if we're going to get it or not, and it's hard when you rely on that and you don't get it. So it really sucks. Hopefully it'll get me by until they figure this mess out.
Dozens of cars lined up for bags of food. Mark Valadez says he's made rounds to several food banks hoping to stock up as concerns of the government shutdown linger with no end in sight.
It's sad, you know, because this is supposed to be the richest country in the world, and right now a lot of people are struggling to, you know, get by.
The Just One Project on Decatur and the Heinrich YMCA in Meadows Lane also distributing and hosting food distributions today. More food distributions taking place throughout the weekend and leading into next week. Find a list of locations right now on 8newsnow.com.
My. I wonder what local food pantries are in the area. Maybe I can volunteer. Do I have time though? Probably do like Sundays. Is there any food pantries? We're probably gonna be told, oh, bring some food back home. I've always had the tendency to volunteer, even though I'm technically poor as well, and like I should probably be getting some food from the food pantry, but I've always had the tendency of volunteering, even though I'm someone that needs to help as well. But I do want to volunteer. I don't think SNAP benefits are coming back anytime soon, sadly. They've been saying that the SNAP benefits will be delayed for maybe weeks, months. So I think this very well will happen within November and December, which are really tough times. Would it be bad if I asked if I could like just live stream myself? Or is that like clout chasing? A humanitarian issue? Let me see. Sunday food pantry. I'm Googling this on my phone just because I don't want to pull it up on the computer. Just for privacy's sake, because I don't want to, you know, leak entire locations over here. Even though a lot of people know where I live already, because I keep saying where I live. Oh my god, no. There is no food pantries open on Sunday in my city. But they do, a place does offer breakfast and dinner on Sundays. And there's a church that's open on Sundays. Okay. Great for the churches being open, but like, are you guys actually doing anything? No hate. No hate on religions. It's just like, if you say help your neighbors, why don't you got something on Sundays? What about Saturdays? The thing is, why do you do food pantries throughout the week? People are working throughout the week. Okay, there seems to be something on Saturday. I work on Saturday though. The Northern Food Bank. Let's see. There is a food bank, very legit, but this is like it's shipped over to different countries. Is it? Wait. I don't want to volunteer to corporations, like big established companies. I want to support a local initiative. You can't see my phone, I'm still looking. Okay. But yeah, I want to help a local food pantry. My local church used to have one, and they stopped running it. And I've been thinking about restarting it, or helping them restart it. But that takes more than like a couple hours. There's a lot of logistics going on with it, you know? So I'm trying to look at another local pantry, and they don't even have like an address. No business hours. Trashy ass food pantries. How are they helping anyone if there's no schedule? Okay, let's see. I'm finding all the flaws. There's a diocese. Okay, well, I used to work at the diocese, and they only do it on certain days. And I have a bad reputation because I didn't let them exploit me. Because I was hired for one role, and then they gave me 3 other roles. Does it look like I want to have 3 jobs in one? This is not a 3-in-1 situation. Dates and times are subject to change. Why are you going to change a food pantry schedule? People got to eat. I'm so confused. They have a whole website for it, and then their schedule's on their Facebook page. That does not help. That means that they're highly dysfunctional because they're always changing and always posting saying when they're going to give out food. Not reliable whatsoever. But they do got a concert going up to fundraise. A Christmas concert. Okay. I got to fundraise somehow. Churches are donating underwear. Okay. That's nice. Okay, so there's a mobile food pantry November 7th. That happened yesterday. Wasn't that Friday? From 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Who's gonna turn out to a Friday food pantry if you're working? We're expecting a larger turnout than usual, so please plan to arrive early. All are welcome. Damn. So people must have been there at 9 a.m. on a Friday? Aren't people at their job? Maybe it's like mothers, grandmothers. But if you're working, how are you going to reach these services? They should have one on Saturday or Sunday. Sunday, I think, is a good day. I think a lot of people just want to rest on Sunday and they don't want to volunteer. People are very selfish with their Sundays. I've learned that. They just want to be left alone. Okay, let's see. There's nothing else that has been posted. The only one that came up was November 7th. Oh, there's one November 17th, but that's in a whole different city. It's a county initiative. So the only thing I have found is a county initiative, and they have some in certain cities, but you have to go to a different city in 10 days to get a service again. What's the 17th? Don't tell me that's a weekday. That's a Monday? Why are they doing food pantries on a Monday? People work from 4 p.m. to 5:30. Then there's one on the 21st. What day is that? The Friday. What is it with Mondays and Fridays? From 10 a.m. to 11:30? They need to do a Saturday or Sunday schedule because, bruh. And that's all of them. That's all that they're doing. Damn. Damn. Maybe I should ask my local church, but I have to think about how much time and logistics that would take, because they used to do a food pantry, and I would go during COVID, but then they stopped because there was like drama or something with the peoples. I don't know. There was drama. I don't know the details. To be totally honest, I don't know the details. But then they stopped doing it. So I'm trying to consider what to do. What shall I do? It'd be easier to just step into something already established versus making something happen. I don't really think I have the time to build something out. But if I build it out, can they give me permission to live stream it? Also, the church is like 5 minutes away from my house. So I would just like walk over. And I don't really do anything on Sundays. So it could actually be fun. I'll think about it. I don't see anything else popping up for Sundays or Saturdays for food pantries. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna jump off soon. Hopefully you guys like my tangents. There's a lot of Juliet. Oh, well. So much for keeping my area private. Okay, I don't really see anything else that is showing food pantries. Maybe I just have to call around. Maybe I do have to call different churches to see what they're doing. They should probably have like a volunteer page or something. Bruh. There's a soup kitchen I can volunteer at. Oh, I can volunteer at a soup kitchen. But I don't like being in a kitchen. To be totally honest, I don't want to be stuck behind a kitchen counter. I used to be a food pantry coordinator once. But then they started expecting me to drive. Let me show you what they started expecting me to drive. There was this huge, big A truck. Let me show you. It was, let's see. Food delivery truck. Oh, it looked like this. They wanted me to drive that. Does it look like I know how to drive these things? And you can't see behind you. I was gonna crash. I was hired to be a coordinator, not to be a freaking truck driver. But they needed to get the food somehow. I'm not about to drive that. I was gonna crash. I can barely drive my own car. And they should have showed me a picture of the truck when they were hiring me. Because they asked me in the interview, oh, are you willing to drive to the locations to pick up the foods where we get the donations from? Yeah. I see this truck in person once they hire me. I was shocked. I was shocked. I was like, I can't do this, I'm sorry. And then I begged them after a while to teach me how to drive it. Because initially I was like, oh my god, I can't do it. And then they kept insisting I do it. And so my integrity got demoralized, and I was like, shit, I gotta keep my job. So then I started begging them to teach me. They're like, no, just like go in and like drive it. I'm like, can you teach me? Are you ready to drive it? And I would tell them again, can you teach me? And they basically kept diverting the conversation and my questions, being like, are you ready to drive it? Bitch, teach me. Teach me how to drive it and I'll drive it. But I couldn't just say that. I couldn't be like, please just freaking train me and I'll do it. No, they kept being like, are you ready to try it out? if you don't train me, I'm not going to be ready. But they didn't want to teach me because the girl that was in charge of like overseeing me and my department was basically refusing to help me. Like, she didn't want to like hold my hand, basically, is what I felt from her. She wanted me to learn by myself. How am I going to learn how to drive this thing by myself? Let's put food delivery truck driving lesson. That shit was complicated. I was turning on buttons. I hit the wall one time of the building. It's not easy. It is not easy. And then they expected me to fill up the entire truck by myself with food. I had to literally pick up the food that were in boxes. I had to put the boxes in the truck. I'm not made out of muscles. Wait, let me show you. I'm not made out of muscles. Okay. Which one is it? I wish I could find a video to show you how it feels like to be driving those dang cars. What's it called? Mini truck? Oh, this kind of looks like a perspective of the smaller trucks. This is like a trailer truck, but it's kind of like this. I was driving a trailer, I was not driving a trailer truck. This is a trailer truck thing, but it has a similar setup. This is what I was looking at. This is what I was looking at when I was driving in one of these. What is it? This one. It looked the same inside. It's just it was a smaller version. But I was like seated and I was looking down at the steering wheel and I had to go like that. And there was all these buttons and they literally made me sit in there and press all the buttons by myself. And I was like, how do I even start the car or start the truck? And how do I press the radio? And I was asking them how to put the AC on. And then when I was backing up once, I was hitting everything. I don't know how to do this. And you can't see behind you really. I mean, you have some sort of idea, but I wasn't used to it. So then when we'd go to the sites, we'd have to put all the boxes in the back. I don't work out. And they were only paying me like $19 an hour. And then I would have to like work overtime to stock all the stuff in the food pantry. It was a shit show. It was a shit show. I didn't like that job. I didn't like that job. It was like 100 boxes in one day in like 3 hours, and I was on a time limit. Then I had to take everything out of the boxes and then put it in the food pantry by myself because the volunteer coordination was terrible. And then I had to like basically lead the entire distribution by myself. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna do that again. So I'm just trying to like step into something that's already established, because I've seen the worst end of being in a food pantry. Let's see, there was a list I was exposed to once. I'm gonna end it soon. I'm gonna end this live stream soon though. But hopefully you've been enjoying my rants about food pantries. The thing is, we need very well run food pantries. That's like the point that I'm trying to make. Things are so messy for no reason. And we just need people to help and like to properly staff the initiatives. Get a trained delivery driver. Get a trained coordinator. Get a trained food sorter, food distributor. Like we can make a lot of jobs happen if we did these things right. There was a sheet with resources that was given to me and I lost that. It was like a year ago. But they don't have anything on their website. Yeah, we don't have anything on their website. Dang. Dang. Yeah, all this information is incredibly hard to figure out on your own if you're not well connected. Have they shared anything on Facebook? I'm looking at one organization in particular I used to work at that have all their resources and lists. I'm sure they have not put this as public information. Dang, I should have just grabbed that sheet when I could have. Okay, let's see. It was there in my hands. It was there in my hands and I never grabbed it. Oh wait, I see it. They published it. Here is a list of local food pantries and micro pantries in the area offering free groceries throughout the week. I found it. Yes, finally. Found something useful. Okay, so I'm gonna see which ones need help and see which ones I can stream at, just like myself, not the people. Oh, there is ones on Sundays. Oh wait, no, that's a soup pantry. That's a soup place. Yeah, those are where you have to be in the kitchen on Sundays. There's nothing on Saturdays. That's crazy. There's nothing on Saturdays. Viernes, jueves. Okay, jueves? What about Thursdays? I don't work on Thursdays. Primer jueves del mes. One church only does it the first week of the month. From 2 to 4. 3 to 6. Interesting, interesting. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream. I think I pretty much covered everything that I was going to cover today. It was a short stream, but there's always a lot going on in the world. But I do want to say thank you for joining and for learning with me. And hopefully we can step up and create the change that we need in the world. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye. Have a good Saturday. Have a good weekend. I probably will be back though. Maybe back tomorrow to play some games. See ya. Bye-bye. Bye.